Coming up next, Art with Mr. Brent, right here on Channel 3 Art TV.
Hey, it's Mr. Brent. I've got an amazing show for you this time. We're going to be doing animation storyboards. We're going to be learning how to draw dragons. For show and tell, I am going to be showing you a food truck that I created, and we're going to be learning a little bit about how the tongue works. We are going to be looking at some of my favorite robots. I'm going to tell you another one of my favorite books, and What's That Plant segment. So, stay tuned.
It's art time! Art, 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 art. Grab the scissors and some glue. You'll need paper and markers too. Get your pencils and your paint. Let's make art without restraint. Art, 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 art. It's now time for what you've been waiting for. It's now time for Art with Mr. Brent. Art with Mr. Brent, yeah! It's now time for what you've been waiting for. It's now time for Art with Mr. Brent. Art with Mr. Brent, yeah!
Yeah! Mr. Brent, what did you think of the jingle and the animation? Pretty amazing, right? So, I want to tell you how that happened. A couple Sundays ago, I woke up and I'd been thinking about it for a while, like how am I going to remote teach? What am I going to do? And I said, I'll make some videos, do some demonstrations and, have you guys do some work. But then I'm like, wouldn't it be really cool to make a show? Like a real show, like with a whole bunch of clips kind of edited together. So I looked on my computer and I found some software and sort of updated some stuff. I bought a few things. And that Sunday I woke up and I had the lyrics for the jingle in my head. I'm not a songwriter, but I could hear the tune and I could hear the words. So I wrote it all down. This was about, 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. And I went onto a website called Fiverr. And what Fiverr is a whole bunch of creative people. Like I've told you guys that art is a way to make a living. So this is a whole website of creative people, musicians, computer people, visual artists, you name it, it's on there. And they work pretty cheap. And they're from all over the world. So I went on to Fiverr, and I was like, let me find a jingle writer or a musician who can take my jingle and turn it into a song. And I found this guy named Adam H. He's in the United Kingdom. I don't know where in the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is like England, Scotland, Ireland, right? So I sent him a message saying, hey, I have this thought. Do you think you could help me? So I heard back pretty fast from him because at that point, England and the UK were under quarantine lockdown as well. He got back to me and said, yeah, send me, some inspiration, kind of send me the tune, blah, blah, blah. So I sent it to him, and that was probably about 11 o'clock in the morning. By 3 o'clock that afternoon, he had the jingle back to me, and it was absolutely perfect. So that was pretty cool. So I'm like, oh, great. I got a jingle to a show. And then I'm like, I kind of need to have the front part of the show, the song, the jingle, animated. And I'm like, I can't really do that. So I asked around, and my friend Brad, who is in Rhode Island, where I used to live, said, hey, I could do it. So I'm like, okay, I have the song, right? So, but to communicate to him, because we have to talk over the computer, I used what is called a storyboard. So the song's 30 seconds long, so I had to kind of block out each sort of section that I saw. So on this, like the blank spot, that's like, it's art time, and then art, 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 right here, right? And then the animation, right? Something like that. This is sort of my idea, but him being an artist as well, he sort of changed it in a good way. It's good to work with other people. So he did the animation. That's with the kids running around. And then art again. And then, like, as the song continues, and you can see, I wrote the lyrics up here, and I had to kind of make a picture to communicate to Brad what I wanted. So I wasn't sure what this was going to look like. And, I trust another artist to kind of see my vision from like this. This is like storyboard's kind of like a plan. So a commercial, a TV show, movie, pretty much always start out with a storyboard, which looks a lot like a comic book, but it just shows you what is happening in each scene. Little boxes below say, these 3 words art will kind of pop in one after the other in tune to the music, and you can kind of see through them, things like that. And then down here it goes blank, and then it's my logo, and then the credits. The credits are always important. In a movie and TV show, you always see credits, like who did what, right? It's a lot of the stuff I did because I'm stuck here pretty much alone. And then fades to black. So I'm going to put this in the info packet for you guys to look at. I am also going to, and let me grab it, I am going to give you a blank storyboard form like this. So I want you to think of a story. Try to think of your own story, not something you've heard before. And say, okay, opening scene, Bob is walking down the street. Next scene, he sees a UFO flying above him. Scene 3, he pulls out his camera and tries to take a picture. I don't know what the rest of the story is, but you want to sort of describe the scene in words and then draw like a little sketch, a little thumbnail sketch to kind of show what's happening there. Really important to communicate to other people exactly what your vision is, because us all as artists have different styles. I've mentioned that before. We have different ways of thinking. So this is a way that we can sort of get on the same page, which means that we can understand what our ideas and communicate what we want. So about a week later, I got the animation back. Few little tweaks. I said, well, it's like 99% perfect. But a couple little things that, the way I saw it, you didn't quite do it, so maybe you could change that. So he did, got it back almost immediately, put the 2 together, bam, amazing, good job. Collaboration between Adam H., Brad, and myself. So that's okay. You don't have to work by yourself. A lot of people work collaboratively, and a lot of people are idea people. There's people that just do storyboards. They don't then end up having to do all of the stuff that's in the storyboards. That gets passed to the next person, and so on and so on. So I want you, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 pages of this, make up a story, and send it to me. Hey, I'm going to teach you guys about some dragons today. May not be a shock to you guys that I have a bunch of toy dragons as well. But in the drawing section today, I am going to show you how to draw a dragon. I'm going to show you 9 different examples. They'll be in the handouts that you guys are going to get. Or they'll be on the Facebook page anyway. So I'm going to show you the different dragons. They're just pictures that I found on the internet. I don't know if you can see them, but a bunch of different dragons. So 9 of them. Why 9? Well, I don't know if you guys know this, but the mill that's in Rumford is owned by a company called 9 Dragons. So I kind of looked that up, and there's a whole mythology and story that goes with that, which I'm not going to get into here, but if you want to Google it, by all means, go ahead. But now I'm going to show you how to draw a dragon. Okay, I am going to sketch out this green dragon. I'm just going to use a Ticonderoga pencil. kind of a big fat one, and I think my dogs are crashing the video. Hello, Rex. Hello, Annabelle. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to sketch it out simply in pencil, get the basic shape. So I see that it kind of goes like this. Right, so there's basically the shape that I see. And remember, we all see things differently. So it's not going to look exactly like it. But you just try your best and you look at each piece. So I'm going to start with the eye. So there's an eye here. There's the nose and the nostrils. There's fangs. There's a tongue in there. He's got a beard. He's got like these like things that come out of his face. And more sort of, I don't know, like flames for eyelids. And then he's got like, I don't know, it's like a horn or something. I don't know. And let's see. So I'm going to modify this a little bit. I think I made it a little too fat there. And then, this was a tough one. Why did I pick this one? So it looks like there's more flames. And I'm not going to, you know something? I'm not going to worry so much about making it exact. I'm just going to get the feel of it, because even I don't have the patience to kind of go and do every little bit exactly the way this person did it. So, again, I don't know who this artist is that did it, but I just found it on the internet. So it's good for inspiration and practice. So, alright, now there's a couple legs that kind of go like that, and these big claws. So he's got 5 toes. Right, let's see. And he's got another one up here. And I know I'm doing this kind of fast, but I want you guys to take your time. Maybe you have one of these model robots. Insert laugh track. Dragon. And you can, set it up and kind of draw a picture of it. You could like pose it with another one of your toys, or maybe you have 2 different dragons. That would be pretty cool. So you can sit over there and watch us. And then there's another leg here, and I didn't leave it exactly the way this artist did it, so I gotta kind of squeeze it in. So, alright, let's see. And I think that, there's one more up here, and there's more like fire. I'm not sure what all those shapes are. So, and then there's like scales. So this person in the original kind of did it with like shingles, kind of like scale shapes. I'm going to do it just with kind of more cross-hatching, just sort of doing it like that, just sort of implying what's there, because you're making your own artwork. You're just using the original that you're looking at as inspiration. Like, there's no sense in tracing it or copying it. Someone already did that. Right? So you're just coming up with your own version. So I'm adding a little bit of shading. I don't know. Just sort of playing around. And then what I like to do, after I kind of sketched it, remember I kept it kind of light so that I could go back with my eraser and get rid of any lines that I didn't really want. Alright. So there's basically my dragon drawing. So I'll hold it up. You can kind of see it. So that's just a real rough sketch. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of leave the original up, but I'm just going to kind of look at my drawing and just kind of use the lines that are there and just kind of trace it over with Sharpie. I really like using Sharpie on top of pencil. I really like it. Just sort of makes it nice and crisp. Alright, so I will come back in a few minutes when this is all inked in. Alright, it's all inked in now. And I was going to erase the pencil lines, but you know something? I actually think I'm going to do a little bit of shading with my pencil. Because although I like the color dragons, I'm going to try to do this one in black and white with just some shading. So I will be back when I'm done shading. Alright, I'm just finishing up the shading. I'm just kind of doing some texture for the scales. And, yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with it. Drawings don't always have to be in color. You know, sometimes it's even more challenging to try to do something in black and white. So it's a little different than the original one that I started looking at. So this is the one I was looking at for inspiration, and then that's my drawing. But that kind of is my style, you know, and I just kind of got it, you know, close. It's not perfect. I don't want it to be perfect. I want it to be mine. I want it to be original, right? Looks like I forgot to shade one of the hands up here. That's going to bother me. And I forgot to ink in some of the claws on that same hand. So, see, you look at something and then you go, wow, okay, I got to change that a little bit. I also might just erase the shadow line a little bit. I made a shadow to make it look like it's sitting on the table or on the paper, but it's a little harsh, so I think I want to just use my eraser as a tool. Not just erasers can be used to sort of help you with your shading, and then you get rid of all the little dusty stuff. Anyway, so there is my drawing of one of 9 dragons that I'm going to put into your handout kit, and I want to see some dragon drawings. Alright, the project that I want to talk to you guys about that I did a number of years ago is called the Umami Food Truck. You guys know what a food truck is? A food truck is like a mobile restaurant. It's a restaurant that drives around and you walk up to the window and you order. It's got a kitchen inside. I'm sure you've seen them at fairs and festivals. Well, this was called Umami Food Truck, and they did fun, fresh, local foods. So here is the little cardboard model that I made. I designed it in my computer, and then this is what I showed to the client to kind of show them what I wanted it to look like. Kind of looks like the size of a matchbox, but it's just folded paper, taped together, real simple. So, umami, what kind of a name is that? Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about taste, because that's one of our 5 senses, right? So, how many senses do we have? Anybody? 5. 5 senses, right? So, one of them is sight, hearing, smell, touch, and taste, right? So your tongue tastes different things. There's different regions of your tongue that taste different things. So this is going to be in your packet, but the main flavors are bitter, sweet, sour, and salty. And you see the different areas of the tongue. Now, there's actually another flavor that our tongue can pick up. It's called umami. And that's U-M-A-M-I, umami. So I know the truck is spelled O-O-H-M-O-M-M-I, but it's more, that's how it sounds. So they wanted to make sure that people could pronounce it. So they did it what's called phonetically, okay? So that means it sort of looks like it sounds. So umami is sort of a pleasant, savory taste, right? So anyway, so that was why they called their truck umami. So the packet is going to have the layout of the tongue. So try different foods and put them on different areas of your tongue. Just experiment. See, salty, like a pretzel, sweet, candy, cookies, cake, ice cream. You guys know sweet stuff. Bitter. I think the best thing that's bitter that's not really gross. If your parents have like unsweetened cocoa powder, that's like really bitter. So you can kind of tell what bitter. And then sour, like sour apple, right? If you have an apple, I'm not a big fan of sour stuff myself. And then umami is when you have something and it just tastes so good and you can't describe like why you like the taste of it. All right, so I'm going to show you how I painted it. This is going to be a fast forward time lapse of me painting the umami food truck right here. Yeah, one other thing that I wanted to tell you is that I'm going to be putting a paper that has a blank food truck on it. So I want you guys to design a food truck. If you were going to sell food to people, what would it be? And what would your truck look like? So download that form, print it out, color it, show it to me. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about robots. I collect robots. This is K2SO from the movie Rogue One. So he's pretty big, pretty awesome. And pretty brand new, so not vintage or old or anything, but pretty fun. You guys might know this guy, Wally, from the movie of the same name. He picked up trash, so he was an awesome robot. And you also might recognize that's R2-D2. And you know what's cool about R2-D2? This R2-D2 anyway, it's a phone. No? So that's R2-D2. And I'm not sure who this is, but robots aren't just for boys. This is a girl robot. She's got purple ponytail, big glasses. So speaking of R2-D2, sorry I skipped over this. This is also an R2-D2, and this is from 1977. This is when the first Star Wars movie came out. And you may or may not know, the 9th movie, the last movie, just came out. So this is what, 40-some years old? And C-3PO, also from the same time frame, so pretty cool. You guys know this guy? This guy's name is Rodney. And he's from the movie Robots. And he was the robot that saw a need, filled a need. So that's sort of what your teachers are doing. Like, you know, we have to teach from home. We gotta figure it out. You have to work from home. You have to figure it out. Your parents have to help you. They have to figure it out. So think about Rodney. Watch that movie. It's a pretty good movie. So this is a pretty special robot. My friend went to China, the country of China, and brought this back to me as a souvenir. So he's sort of weird, kind of the legs are sticking out, but wait till you see what it does. Turn him on. Not sure what he's saying or singing, but he's got these like LED lights. So it could be a little annoying if you had to listen to it too much. So I'm going to show you right here a few other robots I have. I think I have about, sort of embarrassed to say, I probably have about 400 robots, toy robots. Don't judge me. So check them out. So awesome, you saw a bunch of my robots. I would love to see you guys make some robots. I do this a lot with kids. This is a robot made out of junk. And he's also sprayed with fluorescent paint so he glows under black light. So he is made out of, these are just like little plastic things. These are popsicle sticks, blocks of wood. This is like a top to like a frozen concentrated juice container. There's like an Easter egg. There's a top to like a container of gum here. So yeah, he doesn't really have a name, but anyway, you find stuff around your house. You can, use hot glue. You can use white glue. Put it all together. Send me some pictures. I'd love to see what you guys create. Yeah. So anyway, that's my my toy review. Robots. Okay. Book review. One of my favorite. This is one of my all-time favorite books that I've had since I was a little kid. It's called The Big Cleanup. And basically, it's about this little kid and his dog. And he's got a really messy room. And you can see right there, very simple drawings in this, but they're very well done. So this little boy has a terribly messy room, so his mom gives him 2 boxes. The to keep box and the to throw away box. So with the dog and the little boy, whose name is Peter, by the way, they start going through all the stuff in the room and they decide that they want to keep everything because they figured out a way to use everything. So they end up putting everything into the to keep box. And so the mom comes in later. Well, I'm not going to give it away. I'll read this to you at some other time. The Big Cleanup by Harvey Weiss. Read it. Hey everyone! This plant segment is going to be about cacti. Did you know that the word cacti is the plural for a cactus? If you have one cactus, it's a cactus. If you have two cactus, it's two cacti. So I pulled out a few of my cactuses here to show you. Look at how tall this one is. I have had this for a very long time. I even had to put sticks to hold it up. So cactuses are from the desert, and they use very, very little water. They actually store water inside. And you may have touched a cactus before, and they've got really sharp spikes on it. And this one has kind of like white fur on it. I don't know how well you can see that, but I gotta make sure I don't poke myself. So that's one. And there's a ton of different types, and some of them can get really tall like trees. So here's a tinier one, but also super sharp. And you don't want to fall into that. This one is probably more fuzzy than spiky. So see how that like kind of fur? That's the kind of fur that catches water. Like there's usually not much water in a desert, but sometimes there's like dew. So this like helps collect it. Easy to kill the cactus if you overwater. So here's one that has a whole bunch of babies. That's pretty cool. And here's one that has super big spikes. So you definitely don't want to fall on that one. Look at that. Look how big the spikes are. You kind of hear them. Boink, boink, boink. Cool. And when I pulled out my cacti, today, I noticed that this one was blooming. So that's the flower of a cactus. They all have different flowers, of course, but that's the flower of this cactus. Not sure what they're all called. I'm sure they all have different names. But yeah, so that was pretty fun, right? So, do you guys have any cacti at home? Maybe you could draw a picture of one, or maybe look up online and see how big they get. Because there's some, I can't remember what they're called, but they're the ones that you see in like old Western movies. They're like super tall. I'll post a few pictures so you can kind of see what the different types are. So that's it. That's what's that plant. Okay, so in your information packet, you will have one of these. It's a drawing that I did of my cactuses, or sorry, cacti. See, even teachers aren't perfect. So this is a coloring page, so you can color it. You can look at it as inspiration and draw your own, or completely make up your own. But love to see some cactus drawings. Oh, hey. So, that is the end of episode 2. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot. Remember, I need to see some artwork from you guys, so you can drop it on the Facebook page. You can email me, whatever. So, hope you're doing well. Hope you're getting into a routine now. I know I am. We're going to be apart for a little while longer, but we'll see what happens. So in the meantime, I'm going to keep making these videos for you. You can send me the pictures of your artwork here. All right. And if your parents have any questions, they can call this number right here. Not going anywhere. I'll be at home. So give me a buzz. I know some of the stuff is you need different materials, and you just got to use what you have at home, or can pick up if you're someone goes to the store, they can maybe pick up something for you. But just do what you can, okay? So this is new to all of us. So do some work, but don't stress about it. We're not going to be where we were going to be. But you got to keep learning. We're going to keep teaching. But the key thing is to not stress over it. We'll get through it, and things will return to normal, slow but sure. And hopefully, we can finish out the school year together in person. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep this remote teaching going and sending you projects and inspiration and all of that. So with that being said, that's it for me. Signing off. I want you to keep dreaming. I want you to keep learning. And I want you to keep creating. See ya. Bye.
One more thing. We are setting up some Zoom meetings for classes. So stay tuned for schedule for that so we can get together and talk about art. All right.